Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with today's edition of Today in Sports Betting. Happy Thursday, everybody. The end of the week is in sight. Scott, got just a jam-packed basketball card today. Got a lot of college games, not a lot of college games featuring a lot of good teams. You got some sneaky angles here. I know you and I both struggled with this card to find playable games.
Yeah, definitely did. But there were a couple of games I was somewhat interested in where I thought the line would move, and it did. But at the end of the day, I decided not to pull the trigger on it. I was looking at the Rutgers-Penn State over. I thought that line would climb. It's climbed roughly 2 points since the overnight. So some games here or there. For the most part, though, really not much. I think the card is, don't get me wrong, it's there, just not very, very noticeable. But, it happens.
Every one of those games has a winner attached to it, Scott.
Somewhere. You just got to find it.
So the only game featuring, I think this is right, the only game featuring a top 25 team is going to be the Indiana-Iowa game. Is that?
Well, you have UCLA, which
UCLA's ranked. That's right. Yeah.
California's not very good. So
no, I do have that play on our play of the day. Iowa, Indiana, my friend, the Big Ten battle. That Iowa team is pretty good.
Yep.
Is there a better team in the Big Ten?
I still think Michigan's better, but you know that I've been kind of attached to this Michigan team for a while. I think Iowa's very good, don't get me wrong. I just think that Iowa, don't get me wrong, I know that Garza is fantastic. I know that Bohannon's a very good guard. I know that it has a lot of pieces. But at the end of the day, I still don't think Iowa's very good defensively.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be a problem. I think that Iowa's going to run into a game where it won't be hitting its outside shots, and it's not going to get many stops. So I think that that'll be the issue that will cause this team to lose at some point in March. I think Michigan is better because it could win in a variety of ways. Michigan seems to be able to outscore you and potentially shut you down defensively. And I don't think Iowa's able to do that. Would you agree with that?
I don't know, man. What about the gigantic dump that Michigan took against Minnesota?
No, I'm saying not including the comparison, just saying with Iowa. Would you agree that the team defensively isn't exactly as good as you'd want a team to potentially make the Final Four?
No, they do seem to have they do give up a lot of points to teams that don't appear to be very good.
Some of it's pace, but still.
That's true. That's true. As long as you're winning by double digits, you're fine. And that's kind of been the case with Iowa, giving up 70 plus to Northwestern and Rutgers, and they've given up a ton to Minnesota, of course. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to get a read on that team. And like you said, that when they're winning by so much. Iowa has really been playing good basketball lately. They had their little stumble against Minnesota, but they've got 2 losses. They got one stupid loss to Minnesota, like Michigan does, and then they lost to Gonzaga, and who hasn't? So I don't know, buddy. I'll be anxious to see him play. Because I'm like you. I really like that Michigan team, but that Iowa team's been together for a long time. Bohannon and Garza seem like they've been there for about 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, what do you think that spread's going to be?
Wait, you mean the spread between which game we're talking about?
Yeah, when they ultimately end up playing.
Oh, about on a neutral or?
Yeah, let's call it a neutral, because I don't think
Big Ten tournament type of situation.
Yeah, I don't think they're scheduled until they would have a chance to get together in the Big Ten tournament.
So. I think Iowa would be favored. I think Iowa would probably be around
3.
Yeah, I was going to say 3, 2.5.
Yeah, I think that's right. In the.
I would take Michigan, but I still think that Iowa will be favored because according to AP ranking and just star talent, Iowa definitely has a little bit more recognition. So I would think Iowa would be favored.
What about this one? You got Iowa by 10 over Indiana. 151.5 is the total.
I kind of got to go with Iowa. It's a matter of Indiana has been I'd say a decent team this year, but it's kind of like most of the middle of the road Big Ten teams. They just seem to be very, very inconsistent. And Indiana is not entering this game in really great form. I know they ended up beating Wisconsin. It ended up losing to Wisconsin double overtime on the road. A game probably should have won. I ended up beating Nebraska, which is Nebraska, so I don't know if that really matters. They lost to Purdue at home by 12.
Bad
Not really a
loss.
great performance there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Iowa's been killing teams.
They're not afraid of big spreads, buddy. They're not afraid of big spreads at all.
It's 5-0 against the number in its last 5. I just think Iowa has too much offensive firepower. I think that Indiana really just shouldn't have much of an answer for Garza. I think Bohannon will do well once again. Iowa has so many pieces, and I think that Indiana doesn't exactly have enough athleticism and talent to slow down this Iowa attack, especially on the road. So for me, I think Iowa probably scores 85 plus. I think they'll win this game going away.
Yeah, this is an Iowa team that's 6-0 against the number when the spread's 9.5 or more. So they're used to playing with big spreads. They don't care. Yes, and they have a great habit of putting up a ton of points against bad schools, and this is going to be the case. They put up 86 or more in 5 of their last 6. I'm with you. I don't see any way this one doesn't go the way of the Hawkeyes. I'll take Iowa, and I got to play the over here, bud, because they just tend to take their foot off the gas defensively when they get that big lead. I think we're getting a pretty good price there at 151.5 for a team that's likely to put up 80 to 85 points. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, well, I also mentioned that I didn't mention, but I should, that Indiana, even though it's had some low totals in conference play, is 3-0 to the over in its last 3. And some of these totals aren't even close. Played Wisconsin, it was 128. Game finished at 153. Yes, there were some overtime periods involved. Played Nebraska, total was 139. Game landed 160. Played Purdue, total was 129.5. Game landed 150. So now, it's going way over.
It is worth mentioning that this is the highest total that Indiana has played this year.
Correct, but I'm saying that based on the recent totals, they're not just going over; they're flying over. So I think that with Iowa involved, I could expect this Indiana defense to struggle because it doesn't appear to be very good.
I agree. Yeah, it's the highest total Indiana has played. It's the second lowest total that Iowa has played. So I think they're giving too much credit to this Indiana team.
I agree.
All right, there we go. Anything else on the college card stand out? I know we made fun of it and talked about it unmercifully. So unmercifully. Do you see anything that stands out to grab you?
Not really. Just looking through it, I am pretty interested in the USC game just because of the line move.
Right.
I was talking to you about it before we went on air that USC opened up a -1 up to around -5.5. So a lot of money coming in on USC. I'm curious how that's going to work out. And the value might be gone by now, but that remains to be seen. I find that game interesting. I know Akron, Central Michigan. Central Michigan has been an over team all season long. Just really doesn't play much defense at all.
Yeah.
So maybe you look for an over there. But for the most part, no, not really. I feel like this card's pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, that's one of our favorite trends that we've been riding for a couple of years now is the Akron first half unders. And we hit one, and then I laid off against Toledo, and that was a good move. And
Toledo is on another level in the middle.
Yeah, then we laid off the last one, and it cashed. So I know a lot of people were looking for me to play it this time, but that Central Michigan team, man,
they score.
Yeah, they do, and they don't play a ton of defense. So yep. I think that first half number is probably around 71 or so. Let me see what they actually have. It was 72.5.
Yep.
Tempting, but I don't want any part of an under involving Central Michigan. Sorry.
I don't blame you.
I will point out that with the game we talked about yesterday, when I said I wish I had the Andy Reid size cojones to play the Citadel under, that one cashed by 30 points. So yep. Citadel did absolutely nothing. So all right, well let's move on to the professionals, shall we, Scott? As we have 3 games tonight, and 2 of them are on TV. Woohoo! Mm-hmm. Possible finals preview here. I'm contractually obligated to say that, by the way. As the Lakers take on the Bucks, home game for the Buckies. -1, 229 is your total there. Hey, Scott, do you like the Bucks or their bench?
No.
Okay.
But truth is, the Lakers have been, well, to be honest, they've been a thorn in my side this year. seems like whenever I back them, they have some decent lead and they proceed to blow it because they don't care about regular season games.
Still a little salty about that game a couple days ago, aren't you?
We had the Warrior game earlier in the year. I took them against Portland. They were up like 8 in the first half, lost the game outright at home. They just had a bunch of spots where this team looks really good. And then as soon as I decide, it's time to get back on the horse, it's just like, nope, we're just going to blow this real quick. But I know the Lakers are probably, I'd say, extremely bothered that they let that game slip through their fingertips. And I know Milwaukee kind of should feel similarly with letting that Brooklyn game slip through the fingertips. So I think both teams should be motivated for this matchup. You have any thoughts on this one? Because I guess I'd lean Lakers, but I don't know. I think it's pretty just watch and observe type of situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get a read on either one of these teams as far as, especially as far as covering the number. And, as far as even winning games outright, Milwaukee, not all that great so far this season. I'm not, and I talked about this yesterday, the fact that, everybody's just kind of anointing them as the best team in the East. And I don't think either one of us would agree with that. Or
I do not.
We had different thoughts on, who was up there competing, but, it's a shame because I was really looking forward to seeing, Miami and to a lesser extent, Toronto get up there and compete. And, both of those teams have kind of fallen off the cliff. So I've got to go Lakers here, Scott. I don't like to do it. It's going to be a reluctant play for me.
I think we're on the same page on this one. I'll lean to the under though.
What is it? 229. That's
the Lakers. I know that the game went over against Golden State by, I believe, a free throw. So that game was very close throughout. But I'll lean under here because Milwaukee's defense, I'd say, is mediocre. At times it can look really good. At times it does not. The Lakers' defense is very good. So at least in most cases. So I'll lean to the under.
Okay. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm just trying to see the last time they gave up. They've given up 115 a couple times, but they don't give up a ton of points. And I think this is gonna have to be an evenly matched game. Yeah, I've got to play the under there too. Again, neither one of those plays I like very much. I won't be playing in real life, but yeah, I lean Lakers and under. Okay, and now Scott's going to be the Knicks and the Gold. I'm kidding. It's not going to be Golden State. I know you're happy about that because you're always Golden State's always on TV.
Well, I gave them a reverse jinx last game because they ended up coming from behind and winning. So
that's right. You tweeted out, "Can we never see Golden State on TV again?" or whatever it was.
They're down 9. They're down 17, and then they came back. So
it was like Popeye opening the can of spinach at that point.
On one hand, I looked like an idiot. On the other hand, I saw the Lakers and LeBron blow a 17-plus point lead on primetime television.
Yeah.
So could have been worse, I guess. You know,
those two things are not exclusive.
They're not. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is the Warriors can thank me later for the results. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
I'm sure they'll get right on that. It's going to be the Jazz and the Pelicans, Scott. Woohoo.
Fun times.
New Orleans still salty about losing the Jazz?
I don't know if salty is the right word or the fact that the team's not very good, which seems to be a broken record that we keep talking about on this show. The Pelicans had one good game against the Kings. Congratulations. Your team is still not very good. I know they've been, but they're willing to change things up. Did you hear? They might be trading their franchise point guard Lonzo Ball. I don't know if you heard that. He's been linked to some trades with the Clippers, the Knicks, some other teams there. I can't get over this roster because I just don't understand what the front office was thinking when they made it. You have a starting lineup, or at least a bunch of players involving Adams, Williamson, Lonzo. You have Bledsoe in there, Jackson Hayes. Who can shoot on this team? It's like they tried to build a roster in 2004. I just don't really see what the game plan was. It's kind of like the Knicks last year when they ended up signing 7 power forwards. And they're just like, yeah, let's figure it out. And it's like, oh, we have one of the worst records in the league. That's a shame. I can't believe that happened. But they got Van Gundy as their coach, who I don't know if he's very good. I think it's kind of ironic his entire career in Orlando was surround a good center with 3-point shooters, and this year they have no 3-point shooters, so I find that kind of funny.
Yeah.
But Utah just killed this team, and Utah's been rolling. So I know the immediate rematch is a little bit scary to some people. I would still lean Utah.
You have to. This is a team that's won and covered their last 6, and been playing good defense. And New Orleans, speaking of good defense, they ain't got it. They've been playing New Orleans type defense about like you expect out of them. They haven't given up less than 111 in their last 8 games, and yeah, I'm with you. I don't see any way that they get to 111 against this Utah team. You got to go with the Jazz to cover. I don't want to get involved with the total. I'd probably lean under. Seven of the last 8 for the Pelicans have gone over, but of course, then the Jazz have played under in 4 of their last 5. So the trends kind of go in the different directions. Who do you like there, Scott? You like the shitty offense against the or shitty defense? Who rules the day?
I'm gonna lean to the under.
Okay.
It's a matter of the fact that New Orleans, even though most years they play up tempo, this year they're not really doing so. I know that they've had a lot of games recently go over. Most of it because of poor defense. It's mostly because of bad defense, and I know that
right. They're not doing much to help.
Correct. I know that's been surprising because New Orleans was a very solid defense for the first, I'd say, 2 weeks of the season, and that quickly flipped on its head. But with all those
they started playing teams, Scott. That's the problem.
With all those big men, they don't exactly run the floor too well. It seems like they play a little bit slower, and Utah, is fine with playing slow. So I'll lean under. Plus, these teams just played each other. So you know that the film sessions and everything, they're going to know each other's plays and everything. So I'm expecting both offenses to struggle a little bit more than people think.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's the only thing that I would be reluctant about is, like you said, playing the whatever we call those. We don't call them. What are we calling them? What do they call them in the NBA? They're not back-to-backs.
I say scramble points, but is that what you're going for? I don't know what you're looking for.
Where they play 2 teams in the same team. Two
back-to-back situation.
But they're not back-to-back. But
yeah, whatever.
Right. That's what I'm saying, and it's not.
We came up with a term for that. It was like deja vu, but you changed it. I forgot what it was.
Oh yeah, I'm clever with a terrible memory. That's a bad combination. So
what happens, man?
All right, buddy. So yeah, we're gonna lean on the Jazz to keep things rolling here. Like I said,
I feel like you'd agree that on the other game, since we've covered the first 2, I'm assuming you like the Warriors and Knicks under, like I do.
I don't know
how you get a little bit, but I mean the Knicks have just been so bad offensively. They've been winning games, but their games are just painful, man.
I don't know how you get away from that.
Warriors also playing a back-to-back.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good recipe for an under.
Warriors by 4.5. You want to take the Warriors to come out to play? Going to cover that number?
I think you kind of got to have to. I know that the Knicks have looked good in its last 2 games, but I don't know what happened in that Celtics game. As far as I'm concerned, that's an anomaly, but still a very solid performance by them. Beat Orlando. Orlando I don't think is very good. But this team just can't score. It's an issue with the Knicks. Randall's had a very good year. Barrett's been streaky. Other than that, the whole team falls off a cliff.
Yeah, and these are 2 teams that they pretty much played nothing but unders. They're 8-21 to the over right now combined. So
I think this game will be hideous, but for that reason, I'll lean to the under.
Yeah,
like, it would not surprise me if one of these teams does not reach 100 points.
I could see that. I can absolutely see that. But yeah, this is a Knicks team that just they haven't broke 110 in their last 7 games, Scott.
Yeah, it's not good.
Broken 110. How bad is that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, I'm probably not quite as enamored of the Golden State defense as you are, but
I think Golden State's defense has been the one pleasant surprise for me because when Draymond came back, it seems like this team completely just pulled a 180.
Well, they had a nice little run there that they gave up 114 to the Nuggets. They gave up 113 to the Lakers. I don't know. They're back to playing crappy teams again now. 99 to San Antonio. So yeah, put up New York in the crappy team bucket. So, all right, yep, I'll go under there with you.
Cool.
All right, my friend. Well, I was going to ask you anything else, but there's no other games on the card. So there you go.
Yep.
And I know we're going to be, or you're going to be, or we don't even know what we going to be doing the UFC show tomorrow at some point.
Yeah, sounds about right. I know we've been trying to find a guest. We'll see how that works out. If not, then it'll just be the two of us. So we'll see what happens.
Just the two of us. I know
Yeah.
everybody's been anxiously awaiting more of my hot takes on UFC. So
We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
if you and I, if you love my hockey picks, stick around for my UFC. It's nothing but action. So
Over under 4.5 bad pronunciations.
I'd have to look at the
The juice
card.
is minus 180 to the over.
I could fool you and actually look them up on YouTube.
Well, yeah, but that would defeat the purpose.
Yeah, I know it's I know you get great joy of just seeing me go in cold and read.
It's like a mini game for me. But
4.5 the total.
Over's minus 180.
I'm going under.
Okay, you're going under.
And I actually watched the video when I was trying to, and I actually watched the video on one of these, and there's one that's tough, and I can't remember how they pronounced it. So heartbreaking.
Just to give you an advice on that name, it's pronounced McGregor.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anything that also has a Scotch named after it, I'm good with that, dude.
That is true.
Little Clan McGregor.
Yeah.
He actually has a whiskey, doesn't he?
He does.
What is it called?
Irish 12.
Okay. And what's the significance of that?
Is it Irish 12?
That sounds right.
It's something in the commercials, so yeah, it's Irish 12.
It's something stupid like that makes no sense. Why is it called Irish 12? Okay, I thought you'd know.
Well, he's Irish.
Okay.
And
yeah. We'll have that answer for everybody on our UFC show. So make sure you tune in for that. As always, if you're looking for deep dives into any of these games, make sure you stop by and check out winnersandwhiners.com, #1 site in the world for predictive sports analysis. Winnersandwhiners.com. We got you covered over there. So that's going to do it for us, for myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at Winners and Whiners. Wish you guys nothing but luck. We appreciate you watching us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow on Today in Sports Betting. Bye-bye, everybody.